Okay, it's Chronicle here, Chronicle Times. I just want to introduce you to baseline aerobics. Don't call it aerobics, call it air-robics. You need to understand how to utilize your air from the inside of your body. Air used to be very prevalent. Now we have what we have. Okay? So, the first thing I want you to do is first thing I want you to do is to let me think what it is like to be on base level again. Take if you can normally talk and normally breathe and normally walk and normally do the things that you do, what I want you to do is to let's say talking is takes up 25 to 33% of air, right? Recognize that. I want you to recognize that talking, walking, and talking at the same time, exercising and talking at the same time, like when you go to the gym, which many people don't do, all takes up a certain amount of air, of your full capacity of air, right? So if you got one here, and you got 50% here, 50% here, when they both go up like this, you have 100%, right? Guaranteed. When you're talking, usually it's like pinched, right? So it's pinched, right? So you got like a percent of you that is pinched, usually, while talking, and exercising and things of that nature. Okay, remember that. Let's say it was about 33% of your breathing. Means you have 97% left. I mean, what the hell did I say? 67% left, right? Yeah, 67. Yeah, 60. Is it 60 or 57? Let me see, 7. So 57% left. Because you have 7 and then you have 40 and you're at 60. So 60. So 57% left, right? That is basically like double your size plus 7. So while you have double your size plus 7 ticks to go, let's just round it off and say you have 60 more to go. So you have double your size plus 10% more. So when people said give it 110%, this is what they're talking about. Okay? Now, if everything normal is 20 yeah, 20% instead of 33% of talking and exercising all at the same time, all that stuff. When you start exercising, the peak is like 33%. The normal things you do is like 20%. All right? Means that you have 20%, 80%. And then if you start exercising from the 20% upward, you get towards 50%, but it's really going to be like 40% just for purposes of mathematics. So you literally have 60% left, which is double your size plus 10 points, which in essence means you have 110%. Okay? Because if you've ever given 50%, you know you have 50% left, and that's 100. But you never give 50%. So you have a reserve 10%. And on top of that reserve, 20% almost. But on top of that, it's really like 17%. But on top of that 10%, you hardly use the extra, which is past 10%, to say you hardly use the 23% remaining. Really? That means you're in the 33% range, or from 20 for the mathematic purposes to 33%. So basically, you gotta take a breath, like take a breath as if you're exercising, right? You know that first initial breath, that, but it's a lot deeper than that. Some people, what's that, like 15% of a breath, isn't it? So if you're taking 15% of a breath, try to take 20% of a breath, right? And then walk with that 20% of breath in you consistently. Try to create an extra 20% cavity inside of you with everything that you do. Now remember, everyone, anywhere is learning. It's supposed to be. So when you take that extra 20%, you'll begin realizing it's harder to say all. It's harder to say all. It's harder to say the full sentence. All it is that you wanted to say, the full sentence. So instead of breaking through back into the 20% that you're trying to gain, right? Spare yourself. Create a code that you only break from time to time until it becomes normal. When it becomes normal, break the code always again and get back to normalcy. That would be level 1. Okay. So right now, I don't know where I'm at. Let me see where I'm at. I have a good 60 to 80% possibility or approximation, no, possibility of where I am with my breathing. I forgot what it was called because I need to label this video afterwards. I once recognized where a girl was coming from with her breathing. And at that point in time, thinking now, she could use this exercise. So that is how you do it. So as an example, right? This is me sideways. Okay, so notice the depression right here. Notice I have to hold the muscle in my chest and in my back to not breathe out past that. Stay on top of the air, always, if you can. It's hard because it is an exercise. Have been breathing out, so I'm taking short breaths to try to attain it. The moment the mathematics is lost, I quit and start again. A cold. I got the idea now. Thank you. A cold is the same thing. It's clogging your capacity of breath. So basically, you need to stretch your chest the way I was just mentioning with air. You need to breathe in, and you need to try to maintain it, because the bigger your chest expands, the better it becomes. And then you have a cavity inside of you, and it's full of pure air. At some point, there's a normalizing in your body. You'll begin feeling hot. You'll begin feeling an energy. Mine is here. But when I touch it, I feel a pound against my chest and a loss of energy. So I have to build a discipline for my own body. Right now, I'm normalizing. This breathing is almost unreal, as if unnatural, as if something is in the system of my breathing. Because something is in the system of our breathing. But it might be the way we get marble skin. When I said, I recognized that I was wrong. So I am using my emotions to apologize inwardly when I said, Right now I'm normalizing. My back feels heavy, but it's feeling lighter now. Almost needed to burp. For my people, for the ones of where I stand, there had been a long history of people thinking, there's no way we understand. See now, my breath is normalized. but my back is heavy. I'm feeling like this air is supposed to be where it belongs, but there's something about me that's created a cavity for it to rest in. So I need to prove that from base level, you can achieve this as well. Yes, about Tony Stark, I learned through his fight with Optimus Prime that the computers are a trick. But I heard that we know already. And I learned 2 weeks ago, or was it a week ago? I always had it on my mind, but I lost the recording when I flushed my phone. Something tricked me to flushing my phone, and I flushed my phone. Seems like they have a problem. My gosh, this hurts. So anyway, um, I didn't mean to do this on YouTube, but I'm going to go make sure that you know after you succeed with this breathing exercise, you'll feel the normalcy. Success is a normalcy. So each time you feel the normalcy and you know that you now have more air than before, you'll begin to recognize that you can now go to the gym and stretch your capacity of strength further. I have bench pressed, I don't know, I guess 245s before in my life. Um, that was heavy for me. Um, I have leg pressed 1,300 pounds before, and I have used a upper body exercise where I lifted, I think it's 615 pounds or 625 pounds. So I've run zero point 0.9 miles in, I don't know, 6, 7 minutes or less. 6, 7 minutes, I'd say, or less, because I did it so fast I couldn't remember I did it. Um, and um, I used to be able to do pull-ups, and I used to, do like 500 push-ups a night. Um, Depending on the morning, I might do 500 in the morning, counting to be 1,000 in a day. But I'll tell you something about that for all of those of you that want to try. Um, I started off with only being able to do 10 push ups and feeling like I could do more but didn't know. Then I said, well, let me do 20. I I went through a slim struggle, you know. It was a slim struggle, you know, to get to 20. You know, I finally made it to 20 by doing segments. You know, I was like, well, I could do 10. So I did 10 for a while until I could do 15 straight. Then I do 15 straight for a little bit until I could do 20 straight. So, but the way I do it, a try hard, is to go to 10 and see how far you can go. So when you're going and you get to 10, let's say this is 10 right here coming up. 10, I keep going. 11, you see that extra push. 12, I'm like, right here, I feel like I don't have enough air or I don't have enough energy. And I try hard. You see, if you maintain this grip like success, you'll feel it come down your chest. You'll feel it come down your chest. You feel it behind your skin. You feel it in your flesh. That is the feeling of success. So it's not how many you always end up doing. Well, it is actually, but when you finally get to that peak number that you've always been looking for, feel that success. Like hold it out there, proud. Can't take this from me. You know what I mean? It feels great. But me, I never exhaust it. I don't exhaust it out by yelling it out. I don't know why. I don't exhaust out my trophy feeling. I kind of like the idea of becoming marbleized. See the shine on my skin? I kind of like this feeling. You see, it's like marble skin. It feels amazing. You see, back there like this, when I already had this, but back there like this, when my skin was like that, I think that our body is supposed to become that. So that when you get a hit, an impact, you just receive a dent instead of real pain. Crippling pain that only your will, through breaking through your triumphant emotions to sing, do you break through that pain? Because if you never find a way to break through those pains, it can kill you. Remember that. Chronicle Times. I'm Chronicle. Out.